overextended. We're now at a much more reasonable point. We're still sitting $1 above VWAP, which is pretty significant when you only $8 stock. But we've now put in quite a few red candles on the way down, which is better to see since it just made such a crazy move on the way up. It was hard to buy into it and have the confidence to continue holding on the way. It was looking very strong, so I could see people continuously buying into it, but when I hopped in, at the point that I hopped into it, it had already moved up several dollars without a real pullback. So coming back down to 760, but looks like it's getting bought up off the 760 level. So now is the time that we're going to try to get this, this 5-minute setup. So now the move above 787 is going to be the new 5-minute high. Might have been a good idea to buy some shares off of the dip right now. Seems to be holding up above 760 pretty well. So 1-minute breakout's going to be coming up into 780 here. So bought a few shares, 15 shares, 779. Looking for the move up on this 5-minute. So the break over 787 is going to be the new high. Pulling back a bit. Really, we want to see the volume come into. Haven't seen a ton of volume in these last few candles. Quite a lot of selling volume right now, but it's getting bought up pretty well. We'll see how this candle holds up in the end. Seems like it's getting bought up pretty nice. So try to take a few more shares, but I didn't get filled, unfortunately, as we came back up over 780. So try to take a few more shares here too, but also didn't get filled. The story of my life with Thinkorswim. Alright, so pushing up. See if we can hold above $8 pretty nicely here. So really nice breakout, 40-cent move up so far. Unfortunately, I tried to add 2 separate times and didn't get filled either time, so I am still holding 15 shares. I would have liked to have been holding 45 right now. And you see, on the 1-minute, the volume is coming in much stronger here, which is what we want to see. So this volume coming back in is a very good indicator that we're going to get a move back up. Oh, dude, I tried to buy again, coming up into 820, didn't get filled. I'm just getting wrecked right now. Never get filled when stuff's moving quickly, because really, you want to buy into these levels, these breakout levels, and usually coming into the breakout levels is where everyone else wants to buy. So if you don't have faster execution than everyone else, then you're gonna get left in the dust. Come up quite well. We just tapped off 850. That's good to see. So now we're just got a monster 5-minute candle. Really, really nice volume coming. So really, as we come up now, like that, we've just put in such an insane move. I'd probably want to take off half the shares I'm holding, but I'm holding only 15 shares, so I really don't have a I really don't have a choice here. So if we start seeing some weakness, then I'm going to take these shares off and then try to put them back on in a dip. So if we start coming down towards 860 now, I'll take these shares off. So took them off at 860. We'll see if we can get a dip down to maybe 850. Dude, I just tried to buy more at 850. It just didn't get filled. Yeah, so this is the reason I think that Thinkorswim is very problematic. So 4 times now, 4 times in the last minute and a half, I've tried to buy shares and was unable to get filled. So I do. Really unfortunate. And then it's just like if you want to buy into a breakout, right? And so I wanted to buy into 820 down here. I tried buying into 820. By the time my order was even on the board here, it had already moved to 840. And then it's just like, well, I'm 20 cents off the buy point that I wanted to buy into. Am I willing to take the risk to buy it 20 cents up? And I think it's just not worth it. Quite a bit of selling coming off $9 right now. Holding up above 775. Just broke through. Dip on higher volume definitely, but not too high. Candle coming in. See what this candle is pulling back a little more. It seems like we're holding above 870 pretty well. $870. I'm gonna try to buy 15 shares here. See if we can come back up through 880. So it seemed to have been holding 870 pretty well. Just broke down to 869. Yeah, and pulling back a little bit more, unfortunately. So we'll see if we can hold above 860. Didn't get filled on the sell. I was gonna try to take the shares off at 870 when it looked like it was gonna come back down to 860. Then maybe buy a little lower. Seeming to struggle a little bit down here. Push down below 860. I'm gonna sell off these shares. And of course, I didn't get filled again. Took like 10 seconds to get filled there. Just story of my life this morning. Alright, so yeah, it looks like buying the dips. Dips aren't being held nearly as much as they were earlier today. Which makes sense. I mean, we're fairly extended now. A lot of the people who wanted to buy in have probably bought in already. So we just gotta wait for these setups on the way up. It looks like the breakouts have still been really strong. So buying up into this breakout. I tried to add at 790, didn't get filled. Tried to add at 820, didn't get filled. Tried to add at 850, didn't get filled. It's absolutely absurd, dude. So we gotta wait for these breakouts. Now 1 minute on the breakout is 845. See if we keep pushing down here. Ideally, we'd want to hold above 820. 820, fairly large point of back here. It's the top of our largest, red candle up until this last pullback. Holding above 820 right now would be really good. Buying into the 1 minute breakout. Broke out a little bit premature right now. I'm gonna hold off until the next candle to see what the next candle does. So, a few other things popped up on the scanner, but nothing really too exciting at the moment. A little bit selling off. So we'll see if this ended up being a bear flag or we're actually going to go back up here. What's going on, man? How's my mic sound this morning? So pushing to 8:30 right now. See if we can hold up above 8. If we start pushing up towards 8:40 right now, maybe I'll take some shares. Just broke down through 8:30. It's seemingly getting bought up as we're coming into the 8:20 area. 2 seconds left on this candle. I'm going to take 15 shares here as we push back up. It looked like we had a nice bounce off of 825. So going to take 15 shares. Looking for the move back up on the 1 minute. Looks like we're kind of bottoming out a little bit here. We hit bottom, bounced up, then we came back down a little bit lower, bounced up again. So really 820 is the place that I'd like to see us hold. That's good. Yeah, it definitely sounds much better than before. 5 minute candle is closing right now. So now is the time we want to make sure watching for this breakdown below 820. If you break down below 820, the breakdown on the 5 minute. We want to watch out for that and bail out. Otherwise, we'd like to see a move back up through 850 here. Tiny bit of like micro consolidation here on the. See if we end up breaking up. Okay, broke up. Broke up 60. Up a little bit. Region. I'll put on 15 more shares. Since it looks like we're looking strong. And I'll probably take off half the position as we come up into $8.90, $9. Pushing up into 80 right now. I think we're having a little trouble holding it. Up. Little trouble holding this 880 region, so I'm going to take off half. Now we want to see it hold above 860 here. Nice. So push back up above 880. Now that we're like really pushed up, I'm probably going to be putting on shares and taking off shares maybe a little bit quicker if I want to add going into some of these breakouts, so I don't get caught out too much. Just broke out above 9, but again having a really hard time holding it, similar to what we saw last time. See if we get bought back up here, but really big wick now. Yeah, I'm gonna take these shares off and didn't get filled, obviously. So take those shares off just because really big wick, very high volume red candle. It's just really not what you want to see going into a breakout into the high of day. Yeah, I don't know what's up with the static. I think the static is like literally just like my mic. So I don't know what's going on with it. Really, really annoying. So maybe I'll just buy a better mic at some point. So now breakout in the 5 minute just failed. Breakout in the 1 minute just failed. Very high volume red candle on the 1 minute. Second highest volume candle of the day. We're looking a little worse now. I would say that I'm not expecting this to come back up right away. 2 minutes left on the 5 minute. Went from a nice green candle with a really nice breakout to all of a sudden a red candle that's broken down. about to break down. I would expect a little bit more of a pullback before we come back up on this, if we do end up coming back up on this. I don't know what's up. So I gotta figure that out. I'll look around tonight to see if I can figure out what's going on with it. I also have to assume there's some way I can probably just like filter it out. I assume there's like some white noise filter or some filter for just like specific frequencies or whatever that the white noise is on. Look around at some point. Yeah, SPRT now pushed down pretty far. Uh, Other things that have popped up this morning, CETX was popping up while we were looking at this, has pulled back now. Nothing else really too interesting to look at the moment. Coming into $8. I mean, this might be a place that people are looking to buy off of. VWAP now at $7, so VWAP getting closer and closer to us. Finally, we've been dollars apart from it. Oh, the audio bit, right? I don't know. Yeah, I'll look at some stuff tonight. I'll also Google around to see if anyone has any ideas why that could be happening. This volume profile. So I was thinking about. I was looking around for other stuff to look at this weekend. I think the volume profile is kind of interesting. So the volume profile kind of tells you how much volume has been traded at each price location. You can see that the highest volume of the day has been traded between 820 and 850, and that's kind of because had a little bit of indecision coming into these levels now. But you can also see that there's like big gaps in the volume, like between 620 and $7. So pretty much just blew through this on very light volume. So now if we start pushing down, and if it ever comes down into this, this is like a pretty dead area for volume. So you would expect it to just fall right through that level. So I think, I don't know if this is going to be something that I look at all the time, this volume profile, but I think it has some merit. Definitely gives interesting information. You can still kind of get similar information from these candles. Just look at like the normal 5-minute candle volume. But still, I think it's pretty interesting. It'll like add it up all together for you and give you a very easy way to view volume traded at each price level. All right. Does mess up the scaling on the chart though, which I don't look. So this last 5-minute candle, I mean, just a huge wick on it. Pushed up like somewhere from like 820, 830, all the way up past 9, so 70% or 70-cent move up, and then dropped at full dollar. Oh, very unfortunate. And one of the highest volume red candles, or highest volume candles, period, of the day. Second highest volume candle. Only one green candle has been higher than it back here. Little few negative indicators. First few negative indicators of the day, really, on the stock. This thing has just been moving in a straight line up. So interesting to see it drop a little bit now. And fortunate, had some rough fills earlier. Unfortunate. Well, we'll see if we can get a trade up here eventually. Shamshir, if I'm pronouncing that right. Shamshir 007. Thanks for the follow, bro. Really appreciate it. If you want to follow me on trading, check out the scanners, oliveguardians.com. I pick up all the stocks that I trade from those. So anything that I am actively trading, you will also see pop up on those scanners. So check them out if you want to follow along with me. PYAI just popped up on the scanner. Speaking of which, um, just came up ridiculous amount. In the last 5 minutes, it's moved up 82%. Has now pulled back pretty significantly. Um, but we'll see if it comes back up here. Fairly light volume, so I'm not really expecting too much from it, but gotta at least keep an eye on it. It had a really crazy move. It's a COVID news. So I guess this company is developing vaccines against COVID-19 variants. We'll keep an eye on it. Just popped up, like I said, 90%, 100%, something like that. Fairly light volume. This candle is like a very high, red volume candle, highest volume candle of the day. So that's not what you want to see to start off your trade on this. So probably won't take a trade on it unless it starts coming back up a little bit. SPRT probably, still the one that I'm gonna watch. My AI, maybe signs of life from this if it comes back above $9. Consider taking a trade on it. So SPRT now, kind of holding right below $8. Looks like it's pushing up right now. A little bit higher volume on this red candle, but still low volume in general on this move down. So pretty much, high volume on these first couple candles, and now this consolidation, this little move down, has been on fairly low volume, so really could do anything at this point. The buy up over $8 for the 1 minute breakout. Could have been a decent trade. It looks like it resolved a little bit right now. On the 5 minute, move above 820 is what we want to watch out for. 821 there. I'm gonna give this a little bit of time. If it breaks out above 820, I kind of want to see it hold that level and not come crashing back down. Just because the last time it had a breakout, it made a very steep move down right afterwards. So I want to see it hold these levels before I take a buy on it now, just because it has a few negative indicators associated with it. We've seen higher volume on these dips. Um, you know, trend break downwards here. So trended up, a little bit of consolidation. As it came down here, though, this break on this 1 minute is not a good sign. So, now we've had on the 1 minute at least like several trend breaks downward. The last breakout was only about 13 cents, so smallest breakout of the day by a pretty significant margin. So there's quite a lot of negative indicators on this now. Again, the buy up as it was coming up to $8 seemed to have been the one to take, but I kind of wanted to wait for a little bit, a little bit nicer of a 5 minute setup on this. So now if it comes down and we're still holding above 820, maybe I'll buy some shares on this. So this is a little bit what I expected to see a pullback as it came up through this 820 level. Pullback isn't as strong as I thought, though. See if it ends up coming down to 820, and then if it is able to hold above. Pushing down to 820 right now. Like it's holding 820. We'll see what this next 1 minute candle is. Next 1 minute candle starting right now. Back up. So it looks like we're moving back up. God, dude. Tried to buy 15 shares, did not get filled. Just got filled as it popped back down a little bit. Cost base is 827. So ride this down to 820. pushing up now back to 850. By 15 more shares, looking for the breakthrough at 850. The cost base is now 835, so a little bit high. I'd like to see this resolve upwards fairly quickly, or else I'm probably going to take off some of these shares. Pushing back down towards 820. Don't love that. So took off half. See if it holds above 820. Not holding above 820. Take off the rest of the shares. So this is kind of what I'm saying. It's like very choppy right now. Bunch of negative indicators. So I wouldn't be surprised if this comes back down. As I say this, it pops back up to close to 850. It's just having a little trouble holding these levels, and I don't want to get caught in a move down like one of these previous ones back here. You know, where it broke out and then immediately pulled back like 70 cents. So just trying to be a little bit more cautious now that we've seen indicators of weakness on this stuff. And I'll keep an eye on the scanners coming into 9 o'clock. Got 20 minutes to 9, but coming into 9 o'clock to see if there's anything else that we can try to take a. You know, for this being so strong this morning, I'm surprised there hasn't been like any like sympathy stocks. Usually, when one stock is going so crazy, the next time you see something else pop up on news, everyone jumps on it because they missed the move on this first one. So I'm kind of surprised we're not seeing more movement from some of these other stocks that are coming up on news. But maybe we will coming into 9 o'clock. Definitely still going to be some opportunities this morning, I would expect. Yeah, back down into 820 again. Getting bought up. In fact, this holding 820 here is pretty nice. New 5-minute candle just started. So holding above 820, what we want to see. The 5-minute, the break above 850 is going to be 5-minute breakout. Not super willing to buy dips on this, I feel like. I just don't love the way this is moving anymore, to be honest. I thought this trade back here on the 1 minute really nice. This was like perfect. On the 5-minute, you can see finally put in like this nice pullback here, made a really nice move. $1.50 up. Thought that was a spectacular trade. Now I feel like 5-minute breakout that failed. This 5-minute breakout, barely resolved at all. Getting a lot of choppiness. Now we're coming back down below 820 again. See if we get. One thing I will say is that every time it's dropping below 820, it's getting bought up pretty quickly. See if that continues. But at least that thing has. And now we're dropping down. Coming closer to $8. 5-minute, this still looks okay. Say. Coming below $8. Seemed to get bought up pretty nicely into $8 last time it came down.